Hi guys, I'm going to be going through all of the 1 and 2 step mole examples with you, and so you can watch whatever you'd like. So one of the things you have to figure out is my question a 1-step or a 2-step fence? That's the first thing that you have to figure out whenever you do a question. And you're going to use your handy dandy mole islands that you've got somewhere, maybe you've drawn. That's always the first step to approach one of these questions. And so if I look at the first one, I see formula units and I see grams. So remember, formula units live down here on particles and grams lives up here on mass. This takes 2 steps to happen. So I'm going to draw my double fence. Remember, always start with the number from the question, so 900.3 grams. Don't need anything down there, and we're just going to work on the units. Grams up, grams down. That's here. The only place that I can go from that island is over here to mole. So I'm going to go to mole next. Now I'm on mole, and I'm going to go to particles. So I'm going to take the moles that was up, move it down, and the particle that I want is formula units. Now that we have our units in, we can go ahead and put the numbers in. We know we always need a 1 with the mole. Formula units, in case you forgot, it even tells you on your mole map, is Avogadro's number. And grams means that you need the molar mass. Now we know we have NaCl, so you're going to grab your periodic table. Na, there's 1 of them, times the mass, which is 23. And Cl, there's 1 of those, times the mass, which is 35. When I add that up, my molar mass is 58. That's what goes here with grams. Then you go ahead and put this in your calculator, remembering up, down, and your calculator will say 9.34449 something times 10 to the 24. And then we're just going to round our sig figs. I started with 4 over here, and so 1, 2, 3, 4 sig figs. 9.34, leave this 4. Don't forget to put this times 10 to the 24 back on. And lastly, you need a unit. So you can go back, I was looking for formula units. It's also right here in my fence. And there's your answer. Next one, the units that I see says volume and it says moles. So volume is here and moles is here. This is a nice 1-step fence. They're right next to each other. So start with 3.82 moles. Don't need anything there, but moles are up, so they're going to go down. The unit for volume is liters. That's all you have to do, and then just put your numbers in. Liters always needs 22.4. Moles needs 1. When you put this in your calculator, it's going to tell you 85.568. For sig figs, we started with 3. The third sig fig here is at that 5, but I have to round that up because of the 6 afterwards. Lastly, you need a unit. Volume means liters. I could also pull it out of that part of my fence, and there's your answer. In this question, I see volume and I see molecules. So volume is here. Molecules are a kind of particles. So I can't go directly from one to the other. I have to go to moles in the middle and then to the next island. This takes 2 steps. So this is a 2-step fence. So I'm going to start with the number from the question. Molecules, remember you can abbreviate MC. Molecules up, molecules down. That's down here on particles, and the only place that I can go is up here to mole island, so that's what goes next in my fence. Now if moles are up, they're going to go down. And if I'm on mole island, the next place I want to go is over to volume, where the unit is liters. Once you've done that, you can put your numbers in. Molecules uses Avogadro's number. Mole requires a 1 all the time, and liters is 22.4. So you put that in your calculator, remember times on the top, divide down, go up, down, up, down. My calculator says 8.1488 572, and then we're just going to round. We started with 3 sig figs over here. The third sig fig is here at this 4, but the 8 is going to make it round up, so my answer is going to become 8.15. And lastly, we were looking for volume, the unit for which is liters. right, in my next question I see the unit volume. Whoops. There we go. In this question I see the unit volume and I see grams. So volume is here and grams are here on Mass Island. That takes 2 steps to do. So if I draw 2 steps, I start with the number from the question, 2.88 grams. If grams is up, grams is going to go down, and from grams the only place I can go is moles. Now moles is up, so moles is going to go down. From moles, I want to move over to volume island next. The unit for volume is liters. Now put your numbers in. 1 with the mole. Liters gets 22.4. Grams means we need the molar mass. Now the chemical we have is AR, and it's just AR. So if you look on the periodic table, the molar mass for that is 40. No addition, nice and easy. Then put it in your calculator. 1.6128. Check out your sig figs. We started with 3 over here. The third sig fig is at this 1, and it's going to stay a 1 because of the 2 afterwards. Lastly, we were looking for volume, and the unit for volume is liters. That's what goes on our answer. Alright, islands I see in this question. I see atoms and I see grams. So atoms are a kind of particle that lives here, and grams live up here on mass. That definitely takes 2 steps. I got to stop at moles in the middle. So draw 2 fences. Start with the 21.2 grams from the question. Grams is up, so it's going to go down. Now from that mass gram island, the only place I can go to is moles, so that's the next thing that goes in your fence. But now it's up, so then I'm going to move it down. From moles, I want to go down to particles, and the particle that I care about is atoms. That was straight from the question. Now put your numbers in. Atoms uses Avogadro's number. Mole always gets a 1. And grams, we need to find the molar mass of our chemical, which is neon. If you look on the periodic table, it's just neon, has a mass of 20 grams per mole. That goes in there. Then you put this in your calculator. So you should get 6.3812 something times 10 to the 23rd, and then we'll round it. This original number had 3 sig figs. The third sig fig here is the 8. It's going to stay at an 8. Don't forget to write this times 10 to the 23rd. Sometimes we rush and we leave that off. Lastly, we were looking for atoms right there in our fence, so that's what goes on our answer. Alright, in this question I see moles and I see liters. So here's mole, here's liters. That takes 1 fence. So 3.4 liters. Liters goes down. I'm looking for moles. Now we just have to put the numbers in. Always 1 with the mole. Liters is 22.4. When you put that in your calculator, you should get 0.1517857 something. Check out your sig figs to round. We started with 2. The second sig fig here is at this 5. Remember that 0 does not count. So then I'm going to keep that. The 5 is going to stay. And I put my unit on. I was looking for moles, which it says right here. And that's what I put on my answer. Alright, next question. Things that I see in here. I see mass and I see liters. So mass is up here and volume is here. That takes 2 steps to do. So draw yourself 2 fence. Start with what you're given. Liters up, liters down. From this volume liters island, the only place I can go to is over here to mole. So that's what goes next in your fence. And then it goes down. If I'm looking for mass, that unit is grams. Now we just have to put all the numbers in. Mole always gets a 1. Liters is 22.4. Grams means we need the mass of the chemical. This chemical is helium. Again, just one thing, so look it up on the periodic table. The mass is 4. Then put that into your calculator and you should get 0.3125, and then you're ready to round with your sig figs. We started with 3, so we want to end with 3. Remember, this 0 is not significant, so don't count it. The third sig fig is really here at the 2. So we get 0.313. We were looking for mass, so the unit for that is grams. Next question. I see molecules and I see moles. Molecules are a kind of particle, and moles is over here. This is a nice easy one-step fence. Start with what you're given. Molecules up, molecules down. I'm looking for moles. Always one with the mole. Molecules uses Avogadro's number. Remember to use the E when you put this in your calculator. You might get something funny. Mine says 1.993355. That's enough to round. This 1.2 had 2 sig figs in it. So the second sig fig is here at this 9, but the other 9 is going to make that round up. So this is a little tricky. Instead of thinking about it like a 9, think about it like it's 19. If I rounded 19 up, it becomes 20, and then I can just put that decimal point back in there. I was looking for moles, so this is the unit that I put onto my answer. Okay, here I see them mention mass and moles. So I have mass here, moles here. That's one fence. So we have 11.4 moles. Nothing down here. Moles is going to move down. If I'm looking for mass, the unit for that is grams. So I'm going to do 1 with the mole, and grams means I need the mass of my chemical, which they tell me is Al. So you don't have to add, just look it up. Periodic table says it has a mass of 27 grams per mole. When you plug that into your calculator, you should get 307.8. For sig figs, we started with 3. If I want to end with 3, that's there at that 7, but I have to round it up to 308. Because I was looking for mass, the unit for that is grams. Next question says mass and liters. So, mass is here, liters is a kind of volume, can't go directly there, so this takes 2 steps. So start with 2.50 liters, don't need anything here. Well, that looks like a 6. Let me fix that. 0. There we go. Alright, liters up, liters down. From this volume island, the only place I can go to is moles. So that's what goes next in my fence. It's up, I'm going to put it down. Next I'm going to go to mass island, for the unit is grams. Then you're ready to put your numbers in. So I'm going to do a 1 with all the moles. Liters needs 22.4. Grams, I got to get the mass of the chemical. Now I have H2. So there's 2 of those hydrogens. Each one weighs 1 gram per mole. So the molar mass of that is 2. When you put all of that into your calculator, you should get 0.214285 something. We're ready to round. This has 3 sig figs. The third sig fig here, remember that 0 does not count as significant. So the third sig fig is at the 4. So it's 214. And because we were looking for mass, the unit is grams. Next question. I see moles and I see liters. So here's liters on volume island, and here's moles. From there to there is 1 step. So start with 8.75 liters. Move liters down. I want moles. You know 1 always goes with the mole. Liters gets 22.4. When you plug that into your calculator, you should get 0.390625, and then you're going to work on your sig figs. So I started with 3. The third sig fig here is at this second 0. Remember, that first 0 is not significant. I'm going to round the other 0 up, though, because of the 6, so it becomes 0.391. I was looking for moles. That's the unit that goes on my answer. Okay, next question. I see, oops, grams and I see moles. So grams are up here on mass, moles are here. This is a one-step fence. So we have 33.4 grams. Grams up, grams down. I want moles. I know one with the mole, and grams means that I need the molar mass of my chemical. And my chemical is no. Just kidding, that's actually the chemical, nitrogen monoxide. So I have nitrogen, there's one of them, the mass is 14 apiece. Oxygen, one of those, the mass is 16 apiece. If I add that, my molar mass is 30. When you put that into your calculator, you're going to get 1.11 and then a bunch of 3's. Then we can round our sig figs. We started with 3. If I end with 3, that's at this 1 over here. It's going to stay because of the 3 afterwards. I was looking to convert that to moles, so that's the unit that goes on my answer. In this question, I see molecules and I see moles. So molecules are a kind of particle. Moles are here. That's a one-step fence. So I have 45.9 moles to begin with. Then I move it down. Molecules, remember you can abbreviate MC if you'd like. So I always put 1 with the mole. Molecules uses Avogadro's number. Remember to use the E when you put that into your calculator. Mine says 2.76318 something times 10 to the 25. Then I can round that. This had 3 sig figs to begin with. The third sig fig here is at the 6. That is going to stay. Don't forget to write the times 10 to the 25 at the end. That makes a difference in your answer. Lastly, we need a unit. We were solving for molecules, which is that unit right there. So put that on your answer. Alright, here I see moles and I see grams. So I know moles is here and I know grams is up here on Mass Island. So that takes one step, one fence. 49.1 grams. Move the grams down. I'm looking for moles. We always put 1 with the mole. Grams means we need the molar mass. Now we have O2, which means we take the mass of oxygen and we double it. So 2 times 16. The mass of that is 32. When you plug that into your calculator, it says 1.534375. That's enough for you to round. We started with 3 sig figs. 1, 2, 3 sig figs is here. The 4 afterwards means it's going to stay. So it's 1.53. We were looking for moles. That's the unit that goes on your answer. Okay, this question I see something about mass and I see something about formula units. Mass is here. Formula units is a kind of particle right there. So that takes 1, 2 steps. Okay, so I start with the 8.03 times 10 to the 24 formula units, FUN. Move that down. From formula units, this particle, the only place I can go is up here to Mole Island, so that's what goes next in my fence. And then I move it down, and from there, the next place I want to go is up here to mass, so the unit there is grams. Now you're ready to put your numbers in. Always 1 with the mole. Formula units is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And grams means we need the molar mass of our chemical, and they tell me that the chemical is potassium fluoride, or KF. So K, there's one of them, and the mass is 39. F, there's one of those, and the mass is 19. When you add that up, you should get 58. Now you're ready to put that whole thing in your calculator. Mine says 173.710 something. Check out your sig figs. We started with 4. The 4th sig fig here is at that 7, which will stay. And we were looking for mass, and the unit for that is grams. Last one. Okay. In this question, I see moles and I see atoms. Moles is here. Atoms is a kind of particle. That's a nice easy one-step fence. So 4.902 times 10 to the 22nd and atoms. That's going to go down. I'm looking for moles. Always do a 1 with the mole. Atoms is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Remember to use the E when you put this into your calculator, so it's going to tell you 0.081428 something something. Count your sig figs here. We started with 4. These two zeros don't count as significant, so the fourth sig fig is really right here at that 2. So I'm still going to write those zeros, and then I'm going to round that 2 up to a 3. I was looking for moles, and that's the unit that goes on my answer. Alright, if you have any questions, that was really long, you did it, but come and let me know if you need any help.